Hello and good afternoon. When do I ever get to say that? We are here for the Ting Open Season 3 last possible group stage. How are you doing there, Zombie Grub?
I'm okay. I'm gonna ask a favor though.
Oh no.
Can you restart the Skype call?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to presume something went wrong on my end, but we'll find out in a moment.
Drat.
Was it just like super cutting out already, or what happened?
No. As I am on a new computer, I did not have that little box checked that said don't affect any other sounds for Skype.
Ah, so it's like either really loud or really quiet.
So StarCraft doesn't have any sounds whatsoever right now going on. Although, maybe I can manually fix that? I guess I'll just manually fix it for now. I fixed it, and that in the future it won't be a problem either, but God, so many annoying little things. I thought it was pretty good. I had like a checklist. I just replicated my computer exactly. Like I literally looked at it and put it on this new computer. And there's still so many little things.
What is this attempt to bring Soapgate back, by the way, Twitch chat? I don't You know, yesterday I was building my couch while I was waiting for my roommate to come home, and some people actually got to see my roommate meet her. She was actually on stream for a little bit. That's kind of cool, I guess. But I was cleaning dishes. And man, oh man, is Twitch chat like crazy about dishes. Like, you're using too much soap, you're using too much water, you're leaving the water running. Like, it was just, guys, let me live my life. My God.
Yeah, I've gotten that before. Dude, we have this like new soap that we bought because it's on sale.
Oh, well,
and, like
careful.
one little drop is so soapy.
I warn you, one little drop is too much, apparently. Although I did get props on making sure that I cleaned it till it was squeaky clean, because that's how I do. So my dishes must be done. Anyways, the Ting Open Season 3 had a really unfortunate hiccup yesterday. If you guys missed out on it, trust me, you literally actually didn't miss anything, and that was the problem. We ended up walking over alive, and I don't love saying it, but we kind of revived Keen. No disrespect to Keen, but it was like kind of insane that we had to go that far and dive into the round of 32 for replacements, but whatever. So we have 6 out of 8 players qualified for the round of 8, which will be played out tomorrow. We've almost got this shit all wrapped up for that live finals. It's Keen alive from the Korean group. It's Stats and Gumiho from the wildcard group with the asterisk on Stats. I'll explain that in a moment. And then Snoot and Nurchio from the European group. You're going to find too much NA players came here today, but the asterisk on Stats is, and I want to make this clear because someone's going to bring this up if we end up forfeiting him. Stats has been very clear with us, and it's been very obvious and apparent he's using Ting as a plan B in case he falls through GSL. This has given us a lot of time to appropriately plan around and compensate for this. What happened yesterday with Solar was not like that at all. So to be perfectly clear, if Stats forfeits the Ting Open, even if he wins the round of 8 tomorrow, there'll be no repercussions. There'll be no punishments because this is something that's been clearly communicated for a very long time. But tomorrow, we may find out whether there's going to be a forfeit or not. We'll be talking to him and seeing what happens with that round of 8. Regardless of that, though, we got 4 players today, and we got to find out which 2 get through this group. And the funny thing is, well, I think all eyes are on Neeb, and there's no question in any of our minds that Neeb makes it to the round of 8. I'd say it's actually a pretty fair game between M. Canning, Semper, and True for that second place spot. It shouldn't be, and I know I'm going to get scoffed at for giving anyone like even funny with True. But if you guys saw the round of 32 cast by Nathanius, if you've seen his stream lately, True is not the guy he used to be right now. And I'm not sure what's affected his shape. Maybe truly living in America has weighed him down. I don't know. But he's not the Zerg god that he once was. So I'm really, really curious to see who takes that second spot in the group today.
Are we ready to go?
We are ready to go.
Great.
He left the water running for minutes. Look, if you live in the middle of the ocean, you can leave the water running, okay? British Columbia, Google it. It's parts of the province are literally classified as a rainforest, okay? Leaving the water running, it's a privileged thing to do, but it's the privilege I have from living in this horribly wet country.
Well, for me, it's like everyone should be doing their part and all that jazz, as I would consider that most people believe that climate change is real.
Most people.
Anyway, but I do kind of wonder, like, where that actually ranks. You know what I mean? Like, are you recycling? Does that is that better? Are you eating vegan? Is that better? Like, where does leaving the water on really? Where's the top out at? I don't know.
Well, folks, we're getting into game number 1. We'll get caught up with resubs, and those who subbed will be offline in a bit. Thank you all for your support. But to start off today for the Ting Open Season 3, I actually don't have player announcements, but a more important announcement, and that's the Eventbrite has been detailed and listed and available. So if you are planning to attend the live finals, March 25th and 26th, Fremont, California, at the Corsair headquarters, live, please make sure to go sign up on the Eventbrite. It gives us an accurate idea of how many people will be attending, and if you sign up on the Eventbrite, it reserves your spot in case walk-ins happen to fill up the building. But without further ado, in the bottom left, he's playing for Root Gaming. It's the Purple Terran, Semper.
In the bottom right, for Psystorm, it is the Red Zerg True.
Of course, Psystorm already has one of their players in the round of 8, Gumiho. It'd be really cool if both Gumiho and True made it all the way through. Then literally half the bracket, the live finals, would be Psystorm. But that's still a while to go. For those who don't know how the round of 8 is going to work, there is a random draw that will be done, just as we've done every season. The one caveat is that we make it so players, it's winners versus losers, and you can't play somebody you already played in the round of 16. So there's going to be a bit of a draw, a little bit of a fickle thing. We'll see what the matches ended up looking like. I know that Nurchio already messaged me on Skype, and he's like, well, finished second place in my group, so I guess I'm getting stats or Neeb. I was like, oh, Nurchio, don't give up yet, man. There's always a chance.
Give up hope. Yeah, that's always one of my favorite parts. I mean, it's a little lame when we're like, oh, they played each other. Oh, they played each other. Okay, finally we got one. But I like the group draws.
We've had a really good, I guess, lucky round of 8 for both seasons because they both presented really good games. Like the quarterfinals in some instances were better than the finals, but. Anyways, this game starts off pretty regular. What's a little bit odd to see, actually, out of Semper, though, is going to be the Hellions possibly coming out of this. We're seeing a lot of Koreans really catch on to this. We're seeing Major, we're seeing Alive, we're seeing everybody do it. And a lot of it stemmed from Beyond. A lot of it stemmed from innovation, I suppose. I'm not really convinced that Hellion openers are the best.
I definitely see the reasons for it. I've outlined them in the past, I guess, just quickly. I think, anyways, that their power comes from its flexibility, whereas the 2-1-1 is pretty easily scouted, and at this point, everyone knows how to defend against it. You see a certain amount of Marines, bam, you're done. You see that second barracks, bam, you're done. You see the factory timing, and then you know exactly what it is. And there's only so many variations on that one. The Hellion build, you know, when you see a Hellion, you see factories pop out. Okay, you know it's Hellions, but is it a Hellbat all-in? Does it turn into mech if you're facing that type of player? Is it a starport after the factory? Is it a third CC? Is it a greedy build? I mean, if you guess a greedy build, that's a Hellbat all-in, or vice versa, then you just screwed yourself up as the Zerg player, especially. And, well, yeah, that's the point. It's a lot of questions, right? So, I mean, ideally, True gets in there with a scout, and we do still have Zergs that do early scouting, and this is no problem for them. They know immediately what's going on, but for the Zergs that try and play a little bit greedy, sometimes they can, well, they can get blindsided, and it does provide a bit more of a best-of-5 mentality, I suppose, for the Terran player, because then they can kind of trick their opponent into thinking, oh yeah, I just 3CC all the time. JK Hellbats.
Well, on that note, too, it is worth noting that's best-of-5s. 2 of the players, even though I've posted this and I've messaged them with it, 2 of the players in today's group still didn't know it was best-of-5, at least initially. Since then, obviously, they've been prepared for it, but it's... Yeah, the best-of-3s were just a little too short and a little not so fun, to be honest. I really, really enjoyed the best-of-5 here we've had in the round of 16, and my regret was not doing it sooner. But we did have fair concerns that the patch changed a little too much and would have made things a little bit too hard to predict. Turns out that was just the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I remember when initially we were kind of on the bandwagon to make them to best-of-5s because the games were shorter, and then they made it gotten longer again, but no, best-of-5s still work out.
Balance, True, am I right?
Well, I mean, that means it is balanced, right? True has a lot of links, and they all bypass.
Oh, that's not a wall!
If that was a wall, this is no problem whatsoever.
Oh
but
my
they're
God.
Get SCV kills, the Hellions are coming back.
This is heartbreaking, because this is such a small, should never have happened mistake that just cost Semper a ton of mining and a lot of income.
It did, but I'm surprised he didn't lose more here. And if he controls his Hellions correctly, this might actually be a loss for True. He is trying to get on top of those Hellions, though. And those Hellions go down, those SCVs will fall shortly after.
That pull was massive. If he didn't pull those SCVs, this was going crazy bad. I mean, it's already going not so great in the first place. He finishes off the last couple of Hellions. 9 SCVs die for this, and still, this may have been worth it for True. If he didn't kill those Hellions, a counterattack may have been in store after a quick repair, and he would have been in a bit of trouble at home. Instead, realizing how much damage he did to the army, he's able to comfortably drone and even move on towards a lair.
Yeah. This could have gone a lot worse for both players, to be honest. Semper definitely could have lost a lot more SCVs. His Hellions all could have died, and he actually probably could have lost the game if the Hellions died, and he had, still a lot of Lings in his natural. And then for True, I don't know, with the way that his Lings are lining up, I was afraid he was only going to get those 2 or 3 SCV kills and not much more. But all said and done, it was actually a decent attack, and hopefully I think it's more about Semper not letting that affect his mentality, because it was a very silly mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's nice for Semper going forward, he's still going to go through with these drops. Ideally, he wants to run True like rampant, going left, right, and eventually get those kills to maybe feel a little bit more on even footing. Because before this drop even commences, he's down 20 workers, and that's not comfortable for any Terran to feel. Yeah.
I think he had to stop his SV production for a second there, and of course he's lifting his 3rd right on over now. It's already in orbital, though. Main base, not necessarily where True expected to be attacked, I guess. Doesn't have... Wait, does he have no Lings? He's just building Lings right now. So this turns out being great. They're going to get on top of the ramp. The Lings can't take this on. The Baliness isn't done.
This actually reminds me of Snoot when he gets caught being greedy, but this is the drones getting pulled on top of the Marines. He is slowly cleaning this up, but this ended up costing him more than a couple of drones. Ends up being about 7 dead. I'd say if he didn't get the Queens, this would be a massive failure. This kind of ends up being an okay drop, but at the end of the day, economically speaking, I don't know if he did enough damage.
Yeah, it's again kind of like another questionable who got out the worst end of it. I mean, his drops are still alive technically, but only half of one, so it's not too fearsome. It probably interrupted True quite a bit though, and it should interrupt him further because the Queens died. They're not larva injecting, and he did just get a macro hatchery.
I was gonna say the macro hatchery will help make up for that, plus the extra base taken up here. I mean, yeah, he's going to be missing some larvae one way or the other from the lack of Queens, but at least it's not as bad as if he was only on 3 hatcheries as opposed to 5.
Yeah, Semper also has slightly faster upgrades here, so again, without those Banelings, he gets to a decent position. He's going to take a good trade against the Lings, but that's not decent enough. He has secured his 3rd base, and he has dropped the 3rd base of his opponent. So 17 drones actually went down there. That is pretty good, and this one moment in time that's probably going to be the worst for True in terms of making things up because there is no larva injects.
You know, though, he's actually getting to this point of pretty harsh drone losses. 22 more die. He's down to 48. I mean, this went really badly very quickly for him. And while the first drop maybe wasn't so bad, these follow-up ones, even just picking off another Queen here is going to be pretty rough.
Yeah. True. I mean, he has enough army to deal with this. They're not all in the right spot. He splits up 2 Banelings each base, and this is not a problem. But he's being really run amok here, and at least Baneling speed is about to be finished up, and that'll help a little. But now Liberator goes to the main. The Queens have been pulled to deal with this. They die. Semper is actually going crazy with this counter harassment.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this Liberator doesn't necessarily need to kill drones if it's killing all the larvae, shutting down those eggs, and stopping reinforcements from coming out. Marines looking to kill another Queen. Banelings come in, picks up at the last second. He can still kill that Queen. That Queen doesn't die. Oh, God.
It's important to note that True did stop making drones. Like, it was like, there's a couple of attempts here and there, and then he just was going to go with a lot of Lings, but he doesn't know about the Widow Mines. Yeah. He's going to test it out. Oh!
Even then, there's so many. There's actually an abnormally large amount of Widow Mines here. With all the Lings already being gone, there's just not going to be enough Banelings. There's nothing here to soak for said Banelings.
The Hellbats can help out a little bit. The Widow Mines,
no, this isn't even going to be close.
No, it's not. There's still even more that he could back into on the right side. And True just doesn't have the minerals or the larva to really have a good follow-up anyway.
29 drones. I wouldn't be surprised if he tapped out soon. Marines still in the main. GG.
Ooh.
I told you guys. Semper, M Canning, like, these guys have real potential today to show this group up.
Yeah. I actually would have said Semper, Neep, unless True proved me wrong, I suppose. It was actually, for me, True coming here.
Well, as you know, one of the newest members of the M Canning Mansion. I can't help but cheer for my boy.
Yeah. I could see a world where Semper and McCanning have to face each other, and then McCanning actually does win that. But I don't.
He was actually, if you
I
remember,
assume Neeb gets out first.
Well, we talked about M Canning's performance last time. There was some comments he had made himself too about like, oh, I definitely feel like I could have won X game. Like I just messed up my control a little bit. Probably could have gone different otherwise. I think that if M Canning is playing the best of his capabilities, like the best he's had, I think his PvP chances versus Neeb, maybe 40% there. Versus Semper, I'd give him maybe even a little bit of an edge. And then it's Zerg versus Protoss, so 100% win rate versus True, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling as well. And then I could give Semper a win over Neeb if his multitasking is on point, and if Neeb still like has a bit of a block against Terran.
Yeah, and I just realized Streamlabels is not updated. I'm just going to restart that really quick because people have been subbing, but it hasn't been showing. So let's restart that and see if that works. There we go. That's Darius coming in. We'll get into some sub shouts, I guess, as the game loads in. So again, thank you guys for taking the time to be crazy enough to subscribe to us when we're neglectful, terrible, and miss you. But let's see here. Going all the way back to the start of stream today, and even a little bit before. Star Wars Tabletop was a new sub. Johnny Royal71 was a new sub. He kicked off the stream, actually. So the first thing that happened today on stream was a brand new sub. Thank you, Johnny Royal71. Wyneck had us up at 18 months. Ace Rage. Moose Monkey 397, 13 months. Welcome back again, sir. Castiana donated $5. Says, after your stream last night, I need your Electro Swing playlist. Hashtag Soapgate. Well, you know that $5 is not going to go towards soap, but instead the mega tournament fundraiser. Well, thank you nonetheless. Dares also subbed for 6 months, even though it said he subbed brand new. I don't know what's up with that, but thank you, Dares. Yags is up for 13 months, saying 13 months and counting. Flavor Ray was a brand new sub. Sorty Blair subbed to me last night and just resubbed to BaseTradeTV, 17 months. And then just now, brand new sub out of Blackson. Thank you guys so much for that support. We feel it, we love it, and we love you. But getting into game number 2 here for the Ting Open. In the bottom left side of this preliminary match, we have the Purple Terran, Semper.
In the top right is the red Zerg. It is True.
Okay, so I think that game may have gotten a little out of hand, but I wonder if that was really on, the good moves out of Semper, or the mistake of True over dedicating to that hole in the wall. After he did so much damage, we noted he went straight to droning. You and I both didn't realize, though, just how deep that went. That went, like, no legs, no production, nothing but queens and only drones for such a long period of time.
Yeah. I guess True expected to have another second or two before the drop hit, which isn't too unreasonable. I mean, if Semper had messed up his build at all and delayed his medevacs by those 15 seconds, then there would have been no problem. But yeah, he definitely should have stopped maybe at 50 and then made a round of lings. And then this doesn't get as out of control, but it still has a potential, obviously. Like, that is Terran's greatest strength when it comes to the comebacks. It's not necessarily the third CC, but they'll be able to drop it everywhere, and you just can't do much about it.
See, people are talking about these super duper close-ups. Are you guys talking about this?
Yeah,
I don't know. So. I'm experimenting with trying to make streaming a little bit more dynamic. I watch a lot of YouTube videos in my spare time, and I love quick cuts and slow pans, and we can't do those things live, so I'm just playing around. If this really ends up being something you guys don't like after a week, I'll cut it out. Don't you worry. I've seen some people like it. I've seen some people dislike it. We'll see how it looks a little bit later on. Regardless, though, Semper came in with that Reaper once again, just looking for a bit of scouting. There's not really a lot you can do on Cactus Valley, but at least there's a couple of different ways into the main, and True's already on top of this. Link's patrolling the secondary cliff that the Reaper usually hops up. Yeah.
And Semper saw that. He also, I think, saw just how many lings there were, so he's not even going to bother here. Hellaine's on the way in a third CC. Same build as last game.
I was casting a little bit for some of the stuff that's going into the 24-hour stream earlier, right?
Yep.
I was talking with Jake, and I think it was Lenok was also in the background. They didn't know Reapers used to have high ground vision for a small period of time. And I feel that's so funny, because that had to have been the most broken Reapers ever were. So every time people talk about grenades and things now, I'm just like, you guys don't even know. Like, Reapers used to be way worse.
Doesn't necessarily surprise me. I mean, even the players that we got to cast in Legacy of the Void beta, I still feel weren't doing as much Legacy of the Void beta as we were. So for a time, we felt like kings. And then, well, Reapers got patched and Archon mode started to suck, and then people started actually playing Legacy of the Void.
Folks in chat on that note too, talking about the police showing up to the BaseTradeTV house earlier during the 24-hour stream.
Yeah, man, I would have.
Innovation got really mad after losing. That was crazy.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking, like, if I was there, what are the chances I'd actually bring my passport? Because luckily, everyone who was there that needs a passport, that's where they live. The passport's there. But if like, if like Rapid had come, right? Like, I don't think he just brings his passport willy-nilly. What would they do?
Well, what I thought was really funny though about the whole thing was. I think I wasn't there for the innovation meme becoming a thing, but I was watching. They kept running innovation on ladder and swapping accounts, and they have to pause at the start of every game. And he was like you could see physically, visually annoyed that this kept happening every time he'd run into this random player on ladder.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm glad nobody got in any trouble and it wasn't too ridiculous. I was surprised though. Like a noise complaint yields 5 cops. I've had noise complaints in parties I've been at before, and it's like 2 cops will come up and be like, guys, we need you to keep it down or shut this down. Like,
yeah, actually, I have a comment on that, but we have a ling drop here, which Semper obviously did not expect, so everything's out of position. The Overlord has speed, so it can even pick up the lings if it wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know how to hand this gets, though. I mean, it is such a limited amount of lings. Even if Semper wasn't home, the SUVs probably could have dealt with it. 3cc, you can afford to take a couple of extra losses, but he cleans this up.
Yeah. The cops, though, like, I mean, there's some comments in the thread about how bored they are because the only thing happening is, like, you know, the impeachment. But, yeah, I think, like, I actually think just, like, cops in Korea, they like, that, their job, unlike, I guess, the stereotype in America at the very least, because the stereotype in America is that they're doing a lot of really serious shit, all right? But in Korea, it really is, like, you get lost, and they'll get, like, 4 people to come and help you and try and speak English to you. Well, they're just kind of there to help, and they go in teams. So
the joke I was making at the time was, you know, the cops in general are known to be a little bit corrupt. So I was like, well, with the corrupt president gone, all the corrupt cops got nothing to do, so they're just sitting there bored. Oh, you going for a noise complaint? I'll tag along too. I got nothing better to do.
That's one too. Plus, I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but just like generally from my knowledge and like staying there, if it was like an older person that called the cops, like, they automatically take it so much more serious.
Yeah, the whole, like,
especially against if they know it's young people downstairs. Yeah, but anyway.
Dang hooligans.
Yeah, exactly. Those damn hooligans.
No, but I believe the stream's still going on. So if you guys get really bored of the matches here, you can always go check out whatever's going on over there. But I imagine everyone's pretty exhausted and tired at this point, and they weren't allowed to make noise when I left, so I don't imagine it's much better now.
Yeah, it's still like 8 in the morning, so it'd be questionable.
Thanks for subbing to the stream.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wonder how loud they could have possibly been being. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the old house they were in was actually very good because they were literally next to like a concert bar that was like always loud, so their neighbors never cared or expected at the very least. Anyway. 1-1, combat chills is finishing up. We got a lot of the standard timings are 3cc versus like a needling bling build. I don't know why I was I tripped that one up. But
what's that word? That sounds like the word I just said. It's got like one extra letter though.
I kept thinking I was saying bling bling, and then I was like, wait, I didn't say bling. Whatever.
Bling bling boy.
Exactly, bling bling. So unfortunately for Semper, I mean, we don't usually see 3cc builds more than once, really. And then, you know, second of all, if you know it's cross-spawn Cactus Valley, you might be a little even more hesitant to go for such a late build. Like, this doesn't really push until much later.
I like this 2-prong hit, though, that's coming in. This should really distract him.
Yeah? Oh, well, hopefully. A lot of creep spread that alerted true to this, so it doesn't look like that's going to do very much. The top side is only now just seen.
It's really not the first part, though, that's going to be such a big deal. It's the second and third drop. So this one ends up being pretty terrible. I guess he's looking at the south, so the Bailey connects to most of those Marines. And that just costs Simper a lot. It's not devastating blows in terms of resources lost or economy like that, but you lose so much power in your drop, losing that many Marines this early. But he is multitasking, both of them, too, responding on both sides. Nice focus fire on that first Bailing, but has to back away pretty quickly.
Mita's already on the way out, so Semper won't be able to do this for very much longer. He's going to have to just go with a strong push down the middle, maybe 1 or 2 drops, but not devastating. And I don't know how well that's going to go. Starting to clean up the middle of the map. He does want the creep spread to be solved, at least to the halfway point.
Got a really good tinfoil hat there. Remind me after the action dies down. This is, I mean, a considerable amount of medevacs. We still have these two on the side. Queens, Banelings, like these are all pretty big targets for this harassing drop to do. I didn't realize there's a Reaper in there? Yeah, the Reaper from earlier, I guess.
Sure.
Awkward part of the drop. Get that guy out first to drop a grenade and pick him right back up. Now I just let him die. It feels bad, man.
Yeah, he was distracted moving towards the front. That kind of sucks. At least he has his medevacs. Maybe? Yeah. Oh, Woodmine's a little clumped up. True tries to go for it the last second. He gets 3 of them to pop off, and that was so last second.
And most of them hit those Marines more than hit any amount of Zerg units, so they just end up backfiring on Semper really badly. This is looking like a lot better of a game for True, and I think a lot of that has to do with that combination good macro through 4 bases and an army standing, whereas last game, down in supply and army for pretty much the entire game after that first attack.
I do like the way that Simper is playing this. I mean, again, it feels very weird for me to be casting a very, very regular TVZ, not Roach, Infestor, not Hellbat push into whatever. It's just straight up cross spawn Cactus Valley, but yeah, back in the day, like if you could try and 3-base all in and continue pushing, continue rallying, but it's very difficult to do on a map like this. This is specifically what you would usually not want to do it on. So just to go to a 4th base, get your drilling claws, like it might seem weird, like this is kind of the reaction to some Terran players have against someone who's already on his way to ultras, just kind of being like, oh, I guess it's a late game. But I think it works too on a map like this, in a situation like this. You're just gonna get overwhelmed otherwise.
Big hits going off, lots of green, lots of explosions, but ultimately it's Semper who has to back away from this. Now, if he gets these medevacs alive, which is questionable, his supply will be okay. He's trying to meet these up with reinforcements, but a lot of these medevacs were already low before the fight began, so 2 or 3 get picked off there at the very tail end, and True has to turn around. This is gonna be tough because the creep spread was cleaned up. I'll give Semper that much. While the attacks may have been failing, he did push his back for a while, so True's not exactly able to storm across the map. He doesn't have the creep spread to do it.
Yeah. And it's always going to be a little dangerous to do that. Even if you do have a bank of minerals, he doesn't really have a bank of gas, and just in general, you don't want to try pushing into something, get a good Woodmine shot to the face, and then not being able to defend. That is one big wall.
Makes up for the one last game.
Yeah, right.
Well, what if it throws in a giant hole in it?
Ow! Get on it! Oh, it's not gonna be that bad.
That's still gonna be pretty nasty though. He's losing a whole base worth of mining. Needless for picking off reinforcements. Semper a little bit hesitant to turn around to reinforce. Is continuing to get nothing done on the other side of the map, and this is where, oh no, turning this around may have been a big mistake.
Yeah. It's not so bad. It would have been really bad had he lost, of course, like 20 SCVs, but also if he had lost any of his presence on the map, because like you're distracted and sometimes you walk on a creep accidentally, suddenly Banelings are in your face. Semper's not so bad. He even managed to save his drop, and I think he has a Liberator, attacking the naturals, so he still has a lot of presence here that True has to be worried about, Like, this is the opposite of what can happen. Your Banelings are just off of creep, and they get moved into a bunch of Marines. This might not how, that might not be how True really wanted to take that fight, even though he committed to it at the end. Yeah.
I will say it's a good thing he got that Liberator over there. Workers killed are fairly even, although admittedly low across the board, 15 and 16 apiece, but Simper was just taking a lot of damage without any return. It's good to see him finally get something in for it. Now, as the Banelings are not present, it's mostly just Lings and Mutas. I favor the Marines in this engagement, and I think True... Oh, his Banelings coming a little bit too late. They're coming from the wrong side. If he's not careful... Well, kill the SCVs. That's a lot more Banelings than I expected, and it's a lot more Banelings than Semper expected, too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He pre-expected the Banelings. There they come rolling in now. That is just too much. GG.
GG. True will tie it up 1-1. Okay, I gotta cue up music for this. Alright, so hear me out, guys. No, that's the wrong one. Let's listen to this earlier. Here we go. Rifkin and the, I guess, information about Soapgate leaked today. The guys confirmed spending money, your hard-earned money through subscriptions and donations on soap. What do you use, though? What do you use soap to do? Use to clean things, to launder things, like money. Why do you think the cops showed up at the BaseTradeTV house? They were looking for the embezzled funds kept there, being laundered by the Korean and the foreign players at the BaseTradeTV house. The truth is out there. All right, we're gonna hit up a commercial break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. What?
What music did you use? Because I thought you were doing the headline like beep 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 beep, but now I'm wondering.
X-Files.
Okay.
I see you guys soon. All right, folks, we're back just in time for the countdown to have begun. Abyssal Reef is the destination for the next map. And things are tied up 1-1. If you've just joined us, it is a best of 5, and we're in the very first match of the day. So again, after this, there'll be Neeb versus M. Canning. Then we'll have a losers match, a winners match, and of course, the grand finals match. All that really truly matters, though, is that you get out of the group. Seeding after this is kind of random, so first and second place may or may not even favor you, depending on who you're fighting later. So for now, I think for both players, it's just about getting out of the group alive. Score be damned. But in the bottom right, we have, from Root Gaming, the homegrown hero of America, Semper.
But he's Canadian.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. God damn it.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is true.
Okay, you didn't let me finish. It's the homegrown hero of America's boyfriend, Semper.
What?
Poison's American, right?
Isn't she also Canadian?
I don't think she's Canadian, is she? I could be wrong on this one, actually. There might just be no recovery from this hole I've dug. Very deep that it is. Fantastic. I'm like 99% sure she's American.
I feel like I've only ever met her in Canadian events, but that just might be coincidental.
I'm not, you know what? I haven't, my creeping game's not on point. I should know better. No, but I should have known. I forgot Simper was Canadian. I feel really stupid about that because there's so few of us Canadians out there. We need to stick together.
And he speaks French.
Although, you know what? In this exact moment, in this instance, I now realize I have this moment of clarity where I understand why everyone thinks I'm American as well.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Well. Yep. Just that awkward segue as we continue to talk about the video game at hand. Them video games. I don't think Semper has had... I don't know. Like, the first game was really awesome to watch. And again, I think it's a little bit more on True's mistakes than necessarily Semper's amazingly sweet moves. But last game was a little bit awkward to watch. The drops weren't controlled well. And I feel a big part of that was Semper was just getting too far ahead of himself even. Like, trying too hard to do double-pronged attacks, whereas if he had staggered, maybe he would have had more success.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of in the same way, kind of a different way, I don't know. But basically, like, if he was gonna go for a 4th base and play that later game, then he should have been a little more careful about spending his units. So that includes the double drops, it includes, you know, the attackers out on the map. I mean, you can't just sit back because they'll recognize that and, you know, do their own thing, but there definitely was some overcommittal, and it led to him being 30 armor supply down, which led to him actually just getting overrun. You know, Planetary wasn't quite done and all that, but that was... I kind of wanted to just call that a one-off because it was Cactus Valley Cross Spawn, which I'm, again, like, it's been so long since I've had to do that because games have always been so much different. Again, different styles of Zerg, different styles of Terran, but just a straight-up game like that on Cross Spawn, and you just, I think, like, a Terran just goes into it thinking, like, okay, I'm not going to win, which is, you know, already a bad way to start. So, Semper is actually going to mix things up, too, which I like. He went for 2 CC, 3rd CC builds back-to-back. This time he's going for another Hellion build, but it's got that starport.
And there's chat with the mocking emoticons. For the great... You know what? If he was American, that would have been a really sweet intro. Let's just real talk. Can we appreciate that for a moment?
Yeah, it was great. Sometimes you do these really cool intros, and I'm like, well, how am I ever going to do that? I guess I won't, you know? I'll give up,
like,
but then
yeah, there's the other guy.
I'm like, wait a minute, I can get you in this one.
All right, while we wait for things to heat up with these Hellions, I'd like to quickly thank Dr. Scotty255 for the 12-month resub. This is resub hype! And that's enough for part 2. I relay this because after that Istaroon sub for 29 says one of these days, I'll remember to ask for a part 2. It's really easy, guys. Just send us a message here in the channel directly. Not a whisper, but a message so that we can respond to the form for you to fill out and get one of those wonderful things known as part 2s. Shroom5 also had us up for 27 months to save water for me, Rifkin. Vescalex was a brand new sub as well. Glad to have you on board. And then Lupe for 6 months is half a part 2. Well, guys, I thought you liked us for us, but clearly it's all about the part 2s.
It might just be. There's gonna be like a secret part 2 trading ring one day.
I hope not.
I got a 2015 version. What do you got?
Yeah, when we're super duper famous years from now, right?
Yeah.
Could you guys hear me rolling my eyes?
You don't really have to be that famous, though. You just have to be that loved, I guess.
It's something rare, something collectible.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, you know, some guy signs a pro gamer jacket, and most, you know, people would be like, well, you wouldn't spend money on that, right? And I'd be like, no, I'm going to spend so much money. So much. Anyway.
Well, for those who don't get the joke, she did. It was on Boxer's jacket.
Some guy, well, Boxer did actually have like a bit of a celebrity status, but even if it wasn't Boxer, like I would spend a lot of money to have like, I don't like Nalra, right? Like someone that's kind of famous, but you know, wasn't for very long, and you know, I just think it'd be really cool because I'm really into that stuff.
Hmm.
Like
well,
yeah.
I don't know why that just really prompted me to want to just do like the lamest announcement of all time if we were sponsoring. When are we gonna announce that, by the way? But
oh, sorry, who we're sponsoring?
Yeah, because we threw out the idea of trying to do a big blowout thing. We said we're just gonna announce it, right? But I guess we never talked about like when or how or why.
Did we say this weekend? Maybe
we
said round of 8. I don't know.
Let's do the round. We got an announcement tomorrow too. Of who else is casting Ting with us, so we might as well throw it in with that. We'll just do like a grab bag of announcements tomorrow.
Okay, fine.
Enjoy your announcement of an announcement here, guys.
Yeah. Good deal.
Hellions throwing some fire down into this queen. She is going to burn. Rip.
Not about Easter Hellions. Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the Hellions, we didn't really see much done with them, right? They were an opener and 2, not anything very tricky, just the attempted Widowmine attack, which he's, you know, going back into Widowmines makes sense, but it wasn't a Hellbat all-in, it wasn't like in a Banshees, and it is just going into a regular 3rd CC build. True, by the way, I guess we didn't really talk about this, because I think he did it on the first map too, and honestly, I didn't realize, you know, why it was so weird, because we see this versus Protoss, but he's been going for faster +1 melee. And usually, like, it's against Protoss, get one, you know, the melee, that's great for you, right? But against Terran, it's been a lot of get Carapace at varying times. So why the melee?
Well, what's interesting about that, taking it one step further, is again his playstyle. It's Ling, Bling, Muta. It's not Roach, Ravager, and Fester, which we've been seeing increasing popularity of over the last year from all players. So I don't think this playstyle is bad. I talked about this a little bit earlier with Lena. I feel like if you've been playing this for years, if this is what you're comfortable with, if your skill's good enough with it, go for it. But it's certainly different than I think what we see out of other players out there. More on that later, though. The Lings do get on top of the SCVs. Widowmine actually could be his worst enemy, depending if they hit those SCVs that were stacked up or not. Marines will barely not clean this up. He needs a little bit more. This is getting a bit rough for Semper to handle. Don't say it. I know what you want to say, and don't say it.
No, you don't. This is a lot of damage to be taken, and even into the main base. So this is actually tilt-inducing types of damage, and it's distracting from his push so much.
And this wasn't like an explosive amount of Banelings. This wasn't an Overlord drop. These were Lings that just ran by to depots that were down, and that ended up being a net kill of 23 workers total this game, and 22 through that attack. That was really good for True. He's got more Banelings on the side, though, so he's looking for a little bit of sneak attack action this way. Assuming that Semper's just going to go for an immediate counter is not a wrong assumption at all, and this entire base could get obliterated.
Well, the Liberators saw that. I don't think they saw it, so that base is probably going to die.
I think the units saw it. I don't think Semper saw it. There's that Baneling speed, rolls in, all these SCVs, the kind of fresh mules, 17 workers go down. This is really bad for Semper. He has to cause some damage with this attack now. There's no, like, harassing and getting away. He needs to get some concrete damage done badly.
Yeah. This is a very bad game for Semper. His Widowmine would have to kill all those Banelings.
Well,
was Rain Zoo. That's not bad.
Yeah, the Banelings came in without the Ling support. A big mistake on True's part in that regard, but he does have more on the way. He's got more in his back pocket, so not like he's going to immediately die from this. But Liberators drive off some drones, kind of annoying over here. Army now moving into the south side, pre-splitting because he doesn't know where the Banelings are, how many there are, and it's a scary place for Semper to have to push into. But while this goes on, True's not scared enough to stay at home. He's going for a full-on counterattack, and the depots are down. This might just work out.
Well, yeah, there's just nothing being produced really for Semper right here. He can barely afford making just the Marines.
That's it.
Not really a lot of micro there.
The entire attack is stopped in 2 Baneling waves. And while True may have started today a little bit rough, Game 2 and now Game 3 have been looking really on point for him.
Yeah. Again, Game 2 is just kind of like, yeah, it was kind of blah, really. You know, some things happened and then it was game over. But this game was a lot of control, forcefully taken by True with attacks actually working, as opposed to flopping a little bit like on Newkirk. And Semper must know that he's dead. But if you got units, you got hope.
I wonder what the income looks like, because he does have the power of mules, and even then, it's still all over the place for True's side of the graph. You can see pretty clearly, too, where those banelings hit, which is rough to look at. Our army graph's also looking pretty bad. You can also see those banelings hit there, too. My god, it's so obvious when banelings connected to poor Semper's army.
Banelings attack. Semper's got his 2-2 timing push. That does not look that great. He's gonna have to spend more time breaking on the rocks, too.
I think if there's a few more Widow Mines and maybe luck on his side, we could really start talking about Simper taking a viable fight. But right now, as stands, sure, True doesn't have a crazy bank, but he's got so much already on the field. I feel like even if he took the worst possible losses, he's still going to have enough left over to run over Simper.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what could happen to get rid of 50 army supply lead.
You could accidentally hit X while having all of your banelings selected.
That's true. That's true. That would be 48 banelings gone.
That would actually be 50 supply right there.
That's very accurate.
Well, let's hope True is not too slippery with his fingers and that Psystorm Gaming provides high quality keyboards.
I'd be surprised if he had all of his banelings hotkeyed.
You know, I'm just gonna sit out there. You wouldn't even worry about that with something like a Corsair keyboard. High quality, good integrity. No, okay. But banelings will take out the Widow Mines. The connects here are honestly not super amazing, but Semper's army is so small that even unamazing hits are still a large portion of his army gone. The attack to the south might be a little too much. Red streams down the middle. My god, does True have any end to these units? Those Widow Mines got some good hits.
Nope.
This last one wants to go off, it just can't.
Alright, yeah, there's still more banelings coming, and that is going to be it for game number 3.
Oh my god! GG! True. A very dominating game 3 at that. But
yeah, that was not such a contest.
It's not a best of 3, guys. It's a best of 5. So Simper still has 1 life to fall back on, but this is now his last life. Should he fall to the loser's match if he doesn't survive? Also, just got an email. Didn't realize who Johnny Royale was. So Johnny Royale 71, you get a big extra special shout out. Hi, and how you doing? I hope you're doing super well, friend. But yeah, this match is in a lot of ways closer than I expected, but also this is kind of going in. Like, if this was 6 months ago, True, this is exactly how I would have expected this to go. I actually truly believed Semper had a much closer, tighter, better chance against him, but despite that first game performance, he's having trouble repeating it. Oh, so thank you, Spiglet, for the 3-month resub. Not sure when we missed that one. Looks like it's recent, though. In the meanwhile, we're getting into Belshire Vestige, and I would like to take this time and this moment to sell out just an teensy little bit, because thanks to the sponsors at hand, we have this tournament. I made some jokes about Corsair, but they are co-sponsoring this event, providing us with that offline finals. If you haven't seen the information, type !live. What did I save it as? Was it live finals, live event? Hang on, live event? I just made this command too. How did I forget it? No, live finals. Rip. There we go. !live finals in chat, or scroll up 2.5 minutes ago to see me mess this up 3 times. But !live finals in chat will give you information about the finals. I think Ting's writing a blog post that's either going up today or tomorrow. They'll have a lot more detailed information, but the Eventbrite itself will show you guys how to attend, where to attend, etc. Please sign up for the Eventbrite if you plan to go, to give us an accurate idea of how many people are coming, so if we decide to order extra goodies or do fun things, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we'll know how many people we're ordering for. That being said, attendance will be free no matter what. Maybe you decide at the last minute, you know what, I thought I was working this weekend, I didn't get to sign up, but I still want to go, you absolutely are welcome to come. It's going to be free. There's no payment. You don't have to buy tickets. You just show up and you can attend the live event. It'll be really fun. Pretty good times. But by signing up through the Eventbrite, it will reserve your spot. So please, guys, take them in. If you're in the California area, if you're thinking about going but you're not sure you can go, sign up on the Eventbrite. If you're planning to go for sure, sign up on the Eventbrite. Just don't sign up if you're not going, because that will screw with our numbers. Anyways, that being said, the other sponsor, the main sponsor, Ting, is a U.S. mobile phone service. You guys should check them out over on bttv.ting.com. It'll let them know you came from us. You get $25 in credit. Everybody wins, so be sure to check them out. Because without them, Season 3 and even possibly Season 4 and so forth wouldn't be happening. In the bottom right, though, to kick off game number 4 from the Great White North, he is the Purple Terran, Semper.
And in the top left, as the Red Zerg, he is True.
By the way, I see you are referencing a Scarlet thing in chat. Are we referencing the commercial she did?
Yeah.
That was a very interesting commercial. But the part that caught me off guard was not that it was Scarlet, and not that it was whatever for her attire, but the makeup really caught me off guard, because Scarlet's not like a makeup-y kind of gal.
No, I don't think she ever does wear it.
So, that was really interesting. It almost felt like a different person.
Oh yeah, I thought it was at first. But yeah, the wonderful guy is very often in our chat, and of course in Scarlet's chat, was very excited to show me. He felt.
Yeah, our
like,
mods
down,
linked it. I saw people on Twitter linking it. The second they played it, I think 100 people made clips of it. Everyone was just like, "Oh my God, Scarlet, we already loved you, but now we really love you."
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely one of those cool entrances, but still like a little cheesy. Like I'm laughing, but I was like, no, it was cool.
Well, it's dumb because the thing, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you really have to look this up. But when she gets out of the car, the funny thing was I wasn't like, oh, fishnet stockings or anything like that. I went like, huh. In China, is that the driver's side or the passenger side? Like, I actually didn't know.
I think Chinese cars are like American cars. Like, I think
well, you know what? Oh my God, mind blown moment here. Most things are made in China. It would make sense if it was actually the same as the American cars.
Anyway, yeah, that aside, what do we have here? We have another true early evolution chamber. I guess he's been doing this every single game, right? And he's only used it once to go for the early drops.
I'd be more interested in talking about Semper here.
2-1-1 instead of a Hellion opener.
Slower starport, but yeah, it's still the emphasis here on getting units out, which is going to be great because, as we've seen through 2 awkward run-bys. Oh, does the Reaper, is that its spine? What? Yeah, it's oh, it's horrific.
Yeah, have you not seen the spine come out before?
No, I've just
so grim.
They normally just spiral into smoke and explode, and there's no corpse. That was.
Oh, well, speaking of grim, True's going really all in here. A lot of lings, no third base. He's still getting he's getting care, but not melee, so he's still getting an upgrade. Yeah, but he's even got an evolution chamber, overlord drop ready to go.
The depot going down is gonna be rough. Losing the Marines on the low ground actually gonna be devastating. But the thing is, with the 2-1-1, Semper's gonna have, I think, a more than adequate amount of units to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
The command store is gonna need to be lifted. There's no point trying to hold on to this, I think. Maybe.
Right? Yeah. No, please. Oh God, if he lets that die, that's just.
It's burning. It feels bad. He's looking.
Died. Like True should continue attacking it.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my
it's
God.
Burning. I actually don't know. He should be able to repair this. There's enough Marines here to cover it, but damn if that wasn't very scary.
That would have been down to like only 2 bars if the Lynx had not stopped attacking. Damn.
Well. He does back away for the time being. Wall going up. Not going to get to go up, unfortunately. The Lynx already on top of this surround. Loses an engineering band. It's 125 minerals in the hole. He lost the depot earlier, too. Bleeding out money. This is not great for Simper. With the SCVs not repairing this command center, this makes it vulnerable to possible attacks. Please, one of you. No. No.
He really wants to get a wall up, but I don't know why. Like, he should definitely wait until he has stim.
Isn't he Canadian, not American? We just went over this, right?
Oh.
The obsession with this wall makes no sense. Like, I guess to prevent run-bys would be good, but he's got the Marine force to actually take the fight. So the joke about the wall aside, it was actually not something he needed to prioritize as good as it would have been to have.
Sorry, every time we bring up wall, I'm not thinking of a Trump wall or anything. I'm thinking of your wall in Civilization. I've been like looking for a way to bring that in as a
Nobody
joke,
is gonna know what that looks like except for
they've
you.
been completing the wall, unlike you.
So, context here. We were playing Civilization. I was playing China. I started making the Great Wall of China, and I only built one section of the wall. So the Great Wall of China was this one. There's like one depot off in the middle of nowhere. That was the Great Wall of China. Nailed it.
It wasn't even against the wall. It was the middle.
It's the middle of the desert. Shh.
Gosh.
That's what makes it so great.
It was funny.
No one would see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they'd see a wall and they'd be like, I guess I can't get through that. They wouldn't even try going around. So,
shut up.
Drops come in here, and this is one like downside.
This is really good. 3 queens get focused on very quickly.
Oh, he's trying to save that minute back.
I wasn't sure which one he picked up in there for a second. I had a small heart attack.
That's it's gonna go down, man. There you go. But damn, he did use the right one to save his Marines. Right, like True committed so hard to the Lings. He is still kind of recovering with drones, although he just made 15, so that's probably gonna be enough. But there was that time where Semper might have been able to start just out harassing him, you know, like Newkirk. But True this time had plenty of Lings to run around and everything up.
Well, unfortunately, Semper was really offset by that first attack, and it still doesn't quite feel like he's recovered. And I don't necessarily mean in terms of workers, but I also do mean in terms of workers. Like, the damage he's getting here just isn't good enough. Killing queens and a couple Lings is nice, but when you're sitting on 65, 64 drones, you know, queen deaths don't matter that much.
Yeah. Well, 2 Liberators might be able to get maybe even 8 drones. It's a pretty oversaturated base here. Nope. Simple. And simple. Semper is in a lot of trouble. His 3rd CC was delayed not just because of the build, but because of the, the attack. Accidentally gets 2 armories. That's pretty expensive to get. And still not dealing enough damage to True. So the drops just go on home because he doesn't know if True has a Balinus or not. So seeing those Lings, I don't know. I mean, luckily for him, there isn't a Balinus, so they're not morphing in yet. But it's close to finishing. He's just gonna try and attack. Still a little too much army there. But the drops go to the main base. Does True have anything? Doesn't look like it. Just the queen. So
this
I
would
thought
be some
this
good damage for Semper. He needed a moment like this. He needed some sort of opportunity like this, but he doesn't quite get to the mineral line. Still going to take some decent trades with the Lings. If he survives the onslaught and picks off anything, Evo Chamber, spawning pool, lair even, like the Baneling Nest, there's a lot of damage to be done here still. Unfortunately, it looks like he will be driven off. Runs over to the natural base. Might get a better positioning here. I mean, the big problem was he wasn't quite fighting in the perfect slot in the mineral lines, but he doesn't here either.
The medevac goes down. Semper's going to try and take the advanced forward 3rd base, which a lot of Terrans have been doing lately. It can backfire on you so harsh when you already don't have a good position in the game. But even if you do, the Widow Mines will get good shots. Suddenly you're overwhelmed, and your base just goes gets cut down. And this is not a good game for Semper, although he is starting to bring back the numbers.
This is the drop overlord from earlier. This drop in the green. Oh. That super stings.
True feeling very confident in his Lings and Banelings. I mean, they're still slow Banelings, so he should be careful, but the Widow Mines are burrowed. That one just needs to be popped off with a single Ling, and he could continue committing. Speed isn't quite done. There he goes. But now his 3rd base can't be secured. He did already transfer some SCVs over there, which just got popped off by the Banelings, and Semper can't catch a break.
No, it's a bit tough as the depot goes down. Banlings here don't even get all killed by that Widow Mine. So many SCVs in the natural base. Just everything right for the picking, and this is a little too far gone at this point. Widow Mines are splashing and killing more of his own units. I think True has successfully secured this first series of the day with this attack. Even if this didn't actually kill Simper here and now, this base isn't properly running. The natural base just got gutted raw. He's down to 19 workers. He lost his engineering base, so there's not going to be upgrades for him. Everything's just downhill from here.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Semper's got to start thinking about who might be facing the loser's match, but that is still to be determined.
Ooh,
Not a bad
nice
pop
shot.
off with the Widow Mines. He doesn't have anymore. Oh, there's one more.
Yeah, but again, I think True's just got a little bit much. I mean, the army supply actually isn't that dominant for him. It's just the worker count I keep looking at, because Semper can't replace anything he's losing. True absolutely can.
Getting the last few SCVs down here. Oh dear lord, this is chaos. This is tap out time.
He's on 5 workers. Where are they? Are they all in the main? Yeah, they're all mining gas in the main. Wait, one is it? Where's this? Where's the rogue? The rogue SCV is in the natural. There you go. Rogue 1.
Rogue 1. Well, I don't think Semper is usually the type to have a fantasy GG timing, but
I mean, in fairness, he does have a still standing army. It's pretty large, but I feel like it's entirely untrue to make the mistakes to lose the game at this point. Semper in his best control against a half-decent True. Like, he's unloading into banlings. I like that he actually waits to unload, but I mean, you're buying time for not a lot. One of these medevacs is so low too, so you have to be so careful Queen doesn't shoot it out of the sky. Natural base is killed, by the way, while this goes on.
Yep, straight up killed. Trying to get the banelings one liberator shot at a time.
Doom drop! Last chance to survive!
Kind of a doom drop.
Yeah, it's more of a desperation drop, I guess.
It's like a disaster drop, you know? It's not the end is near, it's just like it's kind of like a tornado or a hurricane.
Yeah, it's funny when you say
it's pretty bad, but
when you say a disaster drop though, I think more like a relief aid kit. You know, here's the disaster package. We got a donation coming in. By the way, thank you or congratulations to True. Takes the series 3-1. He'll move on to the winners bracket. Semper will fall to the losers. Avex, though, just now, $25 says, I wanted to get back to you guys after winning the Team Liquid map contest. Oh, yeah, before I finish reading this, for those who don't know, Avex won not just first place, but also third place in the contest, which was really cool. And what I enjoyed was one of the maps was Huangson, the map that we had, we ran a tournament on a little while ago with him and Snoot, and it's cool to see that map even got top placing. But I think it was Wind Waker, if I'm not mistaken, the original map he made for Team Liquid 8 that was the grand prize winner. And it says, if it weren't for you guys picking up Purified Forge and Detox, I wouldn't be where I am today. Love you guys. Excited to see you at the Ting finals. Oh, dude, are you coming? Hell yeah, Avex. Yeah, man, I remember Purified Forge. That map, for me, was a lot more appealing than it was for the players playing on it, which was kind of sad. But Detox ended up being an absolutely killer map. I loved that map. I wish we could almost revive that map. But again, congratulations on your Team Liquid success, and thank you for the $25. We really appreciate it. That money, of course, is going to go to the Mega Tournament fundraiser, as all donations on the channel still are. Thank you to Gotta Love 69 for the 26 months. It says, it feels like forever since I've had a chance to catch a stream. Well, I'm glad you're able to tune in. Wiluko, 3 months, says 100 Zergling-sized BCs or 1 BC-sized Zergling. Well, here's the real question, though. Is that BC-sized Zergling flying or on the ground? Because that could change everything. We got to go to commercials on behalf of our sponsors. We're going to get the veto started with Neeb and M Canning. So if you're not interested in ads, if you want to go get some snacks, do it now. You probably got like 5 to 6 minutes before we even start the next series. But it's going to be a PvP best of 5 with Neeb and M Canning, the 2 actual American heroes, as I have my geography on these 2 correct. So if you guys don't know what Ting is, we said it before. I'll say it again. It's a US mobile phone service. They're looking to save you money each month on your phone bill. One of the ways they do this is by not locking you into a plan. They use like month-to-month rates, and you pay for what you use. So you're not paying for stuff you're not using. I'll let them explain it, though, with their spokeswoman, Kyra. And we'll see you guys in a little bit for that next Best of 5. Thanks for watching.